Greetings, I am Liz, and I use she, her.
And I am Scandal, and I use they, them.
And let's play a game together.
That's
kind of interesting. The song restarts when you come back in if you save right there.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, it does auto-save, so I guess, it's auto-save saves you there.
Yeah, well, that's what, if you save. If you allow it to save, if you support it, save.
It was a true screen transition, so it felt like, it could do something.
All right, I think that's...
Well done.
Yeah, there we go, Dad.
I think I have to click.
No, there's a cute little butterfly. Look at this.
Oh, there is. It's
That's
very adorable.
cute.
Bugs.
Bugs. Do not forget the bugs.
Many years ago. Both of you. Again, play it again, or let's sing it again.
I think the bug on the back of the bench has all of my attention. Star of show. What do you think?
I think it would just be let's sing it again, because that's your part, that's all you care about. I want to sing it again!
Right.
So let's do it again.
I can see that, because all
or
of them
you just scream again.
All of them are again, so how organized are you?
Let's sing it again! Wilma, what is it? Did we miss a note?
Oh dear. No, you played it as written, but it's not what I wanted. We sang it as written.
Here we go again. Then what is wrong?
Can't you hear it, Papa?
Oh.
This passage here. And now the clouds float.
Clouds!
The notes are so boring.
Sorry, I'm just kind of annoyed because I really am just like, you're like, no, but these people who just have magical feelings and they just magically know how stuff works. I don't like it.
It's treating...
It's a trope I'm not fond of.
So there was a lot of discussion. So back in not too long ago, when Malcolm Gladwell wrote their book Outliers, his book Outliers.
Yes.
And he talked about the average 10,000 hour of deliberate practice kind of thing, and everyone went 10,000 hour rule.
Clearly.
Because that's what it was. It was a meme idea sparked from an analysis that he collected.
Yes.
And there was a thing of one of the discussions in there was about prodigies and the nature of prodigies, because that's a process of learning, right? And that a lot of people think that prodigies are sort of this magical thing that just happens. They just know what the music is. They just know what the art is. They just know what the dance is, whatever it is. Whatever they're a prodigy in, or the math, right?
Right.
And studies show that all people ever who are basically like children who are predisposed to be good at something only are amazingly good at it in the way that the culture romanticizes if they work their fucking asses off.
Yes.
And that they only stay good at it if they work their fucking asses off. And that no matter how much of a breakout fucking prodigy you are, when you haven't done a lot of practice yet, absolutely every ordinary, in quotes, child will outpace you if they practice.
Yes, especially if they are driven and they're in that sort of environment. They go, this is what I'm doing.
And so anyway, in Outliers, he covers in great detail how basically or at least to me it was a lot of detail, as I say, so my opinion, the way that society mythicizes it when the data is right there of they're practicing 40, 50, 60 hours a week and they're going, but they're just this brilliant child and going, if other people put 40, 50, 60 hours a week into practice, as well as specifically deliberate practice, and I won't break that down here, but you can look it up, it's a really clear definition, then they're going to have that same thing. And so it's this weird idea that artists especially, not necessarily mathematicians in the same way or scientists, but artists specifically are this magical thing that just happens.
So, I mean, the thing is what I'm getting from this game is they're putting more or less art, or like mathematicians into the same field, kind of in the way that I do, of going like, you can be creative in this field, but where they're going thematically, the writing here seems to be like, there's just people who have basically this sense for the universe that other people don't. Well, and I'm sort of frustrated by it, because I'm like,
it is this interesting thing where the way they're approaching the convention is that everyone's getting these, inspirations of going, this thing has come together. Reality has shown it to me. And the graphic convention is really... I say the graphic convention is really quite pretty, where, they put things together and stuff like that. But it feels very mystical. And from someone who has been an artist and who has also worked very, very hard to understand basically any math at all, it's a little bit frustrating to watch. But also from me who had friends, and my actually friend Scandal here, who were, which I didn't know them as a child, but there we are, who were very skilled at things sometimes immediately when they were young, gifted children, and then basically got thrown to the wayside later. And there's a whole drama of the gifted child thing that is a real thing. I say, it's like mysticizing it and going, it just is there or isn't there is harmful. And it actually ties back into, and I think you might be about to mention this, into the idea of you're smart or you work so hard. There was an entire study of you're smart versus you work so hard with kids. And kids that were told they were smart basically learned that it either was there or it wasn't there. And if they didn't just have it, they would give up on it. And kids that were told that they worked really hard and that their effort made a difference would work more and have the idea that they could learn things and change their outcome.
Yeah, and the big thing actually I was going to mention was that my perspective on it too was that they only care about you being gifted when you're a child. When you're an adult, they just go, yeah, okay, cool. Like unless you have to have a young enough age, so probably like early 20s maybe, if you can even like.
It's gonna be your latest.
Yeah, it's gonna be the latest that society seems to want to accept, where they go, "Wow, you're really good at what you do." But once you get past that, everybody goes, "What the fuck are you doing here? Can't you just move on?" Cool. Well, other people can do that. Like it becomes commonplace.
Ancient. Unless you're in your 70s or 80s and you pick up something new.
Yes.
There really is a really solid attachment to age of, well, you've had plenty of time to learn this, so of course you can be good at it. It doesn't matter that I picked it up a month ago.
Right.
And then a child of the age of 5 that can do it. Oh my God, you're amazing.
Right. And not counting for, like, what Malcolm Gladwell talked about is going, like, the environment they lived in also basically fed into their history, their background, everything else. You cannot discount their lifestyles, their families, their goals, sometimes even their religious practices would actually come into play.
And their access to support is one of the really, really big ones, because he talked about how people who wanted to do something, and Outliers is a great book. I totally recommend it. I found it engaging and interesting and fun and fast-paced and also deeply informative.
Yeah, all right, so...
Anyway, just wrapping that up, if their environment doesn't support their interests, no matter how good they are or how driven, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but we always sing it like that. Mm-hmm. I want to sing it the same way.
But it's boring.
Now hold on, both of you.
Papa, you need to play better notes. Can't you hear how exciting it could be? Grr.
Show me.
Oh dear. Me?
Don't let her play or you play, Papa.
It's gonna be a don't let her play. Real direct. You play Papa takes more thought than don't do that.
Now don't let her play. I'm also too English. Don't let her play. Let your sister try, Otto. Fine.
Is this where she first starts?
Yes.
And this is supposed to be the beginning of it all.
It's alright. Show us.
Whoa. Like this?
That's very good.
Mm-hmm. Whoa. Your hand shape is bothering me so hard on the strings. I'm sorry.
It looks backwards.
It's not.
Because the thumb is over here.
Well, and that is correct.
Oh, I can.
Ooh, look at that. The little notes. Huh. The notes don't have to be so well matched. Okay, so if that's the first time she's ever held a violin, not that it's impossible, but I have never seen anyone pick up a violin and for the first time without screeching it or without testing what angle the bow goes to the strings, just get sound on your first stroke.
And I understand, again, this is supposed to be fantastical, it's supposed to be a little ridiculous, but the thing is this is exactly the trope that both my friend and I have seen over and over and over and over again. It is extremely tiresome, and it is extremely common with media, and it is really frustrating, actually, as well. So I've done, like, music, and I've done choir, and people really go, oh my god, was that your first? Like, I'd be shocked to tell you, like, how many times I've had to explain to people over and over again, going, no, this was not my first time singing. No, I didn't just do this. I've been working on this. And they go, oh, and they're so, like, almost, like, just, you feel the sinking disappointment, like, oh, it's not as valuable then. And
it would have been so magical if you just pulled it out of the ether instead of actually practiced.
Yeah, and I'm like, fuck you. Like, it is a mentality, and I hate this shit. Like, this, though, to me, though, is not necessarily the game's fault. It is trying to go for a specific tone, but I feel like it is reinforcing, or basically it's just an unexamined regurgitation of that idea without any thought as to how much fucking, like, struggle it potentially puts on other people, going, well, everybody's just good at stuff. They're just, look at them, they're so young, they're so intelligent, they're so capable, they have such good thought. Like, screw you. You forget that they exist around adults then who might talk to them, and they might inspire them to actually say things because they've heard the adults around them actually speak to them like they're adults. Not treat them like they're 3 years old.
It's true. Anyway, so we will leave it now. But that is an important discussion, and both of us as artists of different kinds have run into it forever. That there is this level of if you're doing something for the first time and you're good at it, it's magical. And also if you're good at it and you've never practiced at all, then it's magical and important. And things are more important and better if they're magical. And we've even talked about how it spills over into relationships. If you have a connection with someone and you've never talked about anything at all and you just have this profound love that works, that's more valuable than a discussed relationship.
Yeah.
And it's not. All right. Each can have its own life.
Go on, keep playing.
Wait! Then we should change what we sing, too.
Oh?
I like words.
What do you have in mind?
I can come up with something, too. Let's see.
Aww. If this is what's valuable, if creation is what's valuable, then this is what I need to do.
Can I click on flowers, maybe?
Okay.
Flowers have sprung.
Bug? I want you to try the bug on the back of the fence. Or bench. Dang it.
Child does not see. And the clouds are gone.
What else did
What was that? I was like, there was a thing that flickered. Bench.
Bench, and there was something else.
And we're still sitting and singing.
Yeah, there was something like the back of the bench or another thing over here with 2 words.
Yeah, no, I was like, there was something here and I'm mad about it. Like, where'd it go? What else?
Papa.
And my papa is strong.
Oh.
Alright, you can sing that if you want to. Now, Wilma, play!
That sounded so dismissive.
I think that's part of the point.
There. Can you play it like this? Nope. Not even.
No, because my learning doesn't extend that far, and I don't actually know how to play.
Or I can't just copy what you just did because I haven't memorized it.
Right? Or I have to spend more time with it because I actually study it, and of course you don't.
Right?
Sorry, it just seems like it feeds continually into itself. No, you're right!
Even if you've kind of heard it, like memorizing it from one listen, yeah, not everyone can do that.
I mean, some people can because it's a specific skill, but you sort of like pick your way through it and then you get kind of like, then you come back and you do it again. Like, it is a thing you can learn how to do, but usually when I've seen people do it, they'll do it slower. Like I said, they'll pick their way through it until they feel a little bit more confident, and then they'll loop back around and they'll try it again, and then you keep looping, and then you go, oh, okay, and here we go.
Well, that's what I mean. If they can't look at it to read it or listen to it again, they only get to hear it once, and then you must copy it or nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Most people can't do that.
I mean, the thing is I understand what you're talking about. And
Anyway,
the violin is yours, Wilma.
Oh.
Keep it.
Oh.
Play it. Love it. Make your music.
Do it. Live, laugh, love, violin.
Yes.
And then you don't feel valuable.
She trembled. She looked down at the violin in her hands. Her eyes were shining. That was the beginning.
I wish I had heard her in concert. I wonder when I'll hear another concert.
There will always be music, my friend. I even hear. Right?
Oh, so many miles left. Not too many.
22 kilometers left.
Oh, sorry. Kilometers.
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 Clumps. Gentlemen, you have done the impossible. You have taken my mind from our destination. I thank you. Not so fast. You are a journalist. You must have a story to tell.
Oh, your story.
Alas, it is a short one.
It's about my beautiful mustache.
I wanted to write, but my family was against it, my hairstyle, and also my mustache.
Yes.
A barren son must be naturally in the military.
And not so fashionable.
So I couldn't continue writing. I wish I had a story like one of yours.
All 4 of us are certainly headed for a story of some kind. I love your messy hair, actually. Although yours will be somewhat different, I think.
How do you mean?
We three are enlisted men. 5th Army here. The same?
5th Army, yes.
So we're all heading to the military?
Headed for the camp west of the Drena River.
What?
Aye. But you are an officer. 6th Army, yes. It's that obvious?
Not only that, but you board the train at Wiener Neustadt. The military academy is there.
Oh.
And nothing else.
I'm ill prepared to be a soldier of any kind. 6 months training to be a leader of men. I suppose it goes without saying, but I'd rather write.
I think it's probably the ill-prepared to be a soldier of any kind. How vulnerable does he want to be? Mostly, because that's...
Like, I don't know. I don't know this character very well, and in some ways I don't care.
That's fair. 6 months training, a leader of men, and so one of them's like a critique on the system.
Like this one you've also already mentioned. This is redundant.
Yeah, that one is, I've already said that a lot. And then, and the other one's a critique on the system, and the first one is, I'm just not suited for this.
I mean, this one is also going 6 months training to be a leader of men. Yeah, like sort of, yeah. Like
again, it's a critique on the system.
Yeah.
Of going, that's all you get.
At least I assume.
It's
I
like,
don't know what these
6
choices
weeks
mean.
training to be, a controller of the populace. I think ill-prepared to be a soldier of any kind.
Sure, since everybody else has been considering my former profession, I'm ill-prepared to be a soldier of any kind. Considering I'm a farmer, I could say the same.
There's such a weird age range between them that I'm not used to, or at least basically implied by their faces.
Right? I've drilled, but I've never led anyone into battle. How do you inspire the courage necessary? What do you say? Wilma, listen first. You can obviously do that.
He's right. There would have been no stories. You drew them out of us. I think leadership must be like learning. You learn more by listening than talking.
But also, like, you've actually got to have action. So one of the big things that I've been irritated about leadership is leadership going, no, I'm here to listen. And I'm like, but you're not doing anything. Like, I cannot tell you how much time I have spent talking to people going, no, I'm here for you. I listen to you. I validate you. And I'm like, but you're not doing anything. You are literally just listening. And that is it. You are completely useless.
And one of the things that I have found to be completely useless about people that are trying to help me in my life at various times is that they think that just getting out what your problem is going to be enough. Mm-hmm. And if I'm just stressed out, it can be. I'm an event that I'm stressed. But if I want any kind of change, or this is a recurring experience, or it's something that I'm stuck in,
I am stuck in a systemic issue. Help me. Oh no, I guess you just need to talk about it a bit.
I actually had my former therapist tell me when I was discussing a problem that is really making my personal identity and current struggle with depression really challenging. Going, you know what? And we can just keep talking about it. We can talk about it forever if you want to. He got to a point where he didn't have any ideas. He had no suggestions, not even maybe talk to someone else or seek other resources. He really was just like, you know what? You can just keep talking about this forever. For as long as you need to. It doesn't matter if there's a solution. You could just keep talking about it and that will be okay. And I'm like, but I don't want to talk about it. What I want is to change it.
Yeah.
And that was when I went looking for a new therapist, because it's at that point was we are definitely not working effectively for what I'm looking for here.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
That's right. Otto, you are going to war to support your family? Paul, why are you on this train? Theodore, why did you enlist? I don't remember. I think Paul is the dude over in the corner.
I would want to ask the damn artist, but I don't remember which one he is.
I think he's Paul.
Does it tell us if we mouse over them?
No.
Oh, okay. You just better remember.
Yeah, pretty much.
There we go. Because the other two, less so, you know?
Yeah. Paul, why are you on this train?
I'm not interested in hearing your platitudes. That's not a platitude, that's a question.
You helped me. Let me help you.
You can't.
Why? Tell me why you enlisted.
I got caught. I was gonna say, it was a basically enlist or be put in jail, I imagine. This is one of those. I didn't, Lieutenant. I was drafted. Oh, that.
We have to ask all of them.
Oh, Theodore, why did you enlist?
Otto, are you going to war to support your family? It's why Wilma left home. Now it's my turn to help.
Your family clearly needed a lot of money.
But I have no talents to speak of. It doesn't take much talent to point a rifle and pull the trigger.
Oof, that got
More than you might think, young man. I'll tell you this. I'm no coward. I'll be at the front of the charge.
Whoa.
I think he's a little bit more reserved. Like, I think...
Yeah.
Also, I think this is just it. Think about what you just said.
Yeah, just listen to yourself. If he wants to die, let him.
Yes, your sister had talent, but she did not just waltz on top of the stage. It took time and effort to become who she is now.
Thank you. One acknowledgement of work and practice instead of the, she's just good at it.
And she's just magical.
Well, yes, she did wait and listen. Her music was truthful and aware, but I will invalidate all of that. I gave my word. I'll fight until my last breath, if I must.
She did wait and listen, not practice and learn the instrument. Not learn how to compose, not practice how music and sounds go together, not experiment and spend time with it. She just waited and listened until the music came to her and she understood through the power of touch how to play the violin.
Right?
Playing the hero.
What's wrong with that?
You can see you're working yourself up. You think you're ready for
battle. Your blood is like fire in your veins.
So... I can see you're working yourself up as just an observation.
I think the thing is you could observe something going like, I'm making an observation because you seem like you're getting a little bit like...
Your blood is like fire in your veins is more of a statement. This is going on, rather than, I'm observing this.
I feel like this observation was also meant to be kind of a, whoa, hang on, I can see you're working yourself up over this.
And you think you're ready
That's
for
an
battle
acknowledgement.
sounds like a challenge a little bit.
Right.
But he's been pretty soft about things, so it would be like, you think you're ready for battle. And I don't know if he's going to go that direction.
I don't trust this game. I've kind of lost it with trusting this game for a while.
Let's try
so.
that. Do you want to try the first
I
one?
want to try the first one.
Let's do it.
I can see your... wow. The error. I can see you're working yourself up.
I can see that you have a working yourself up.
Right?
It's yours.
Why not? I'm going to war. You must prepare for what's coming. How did your sister prepare for writing her song?
Wait, are you just now trying to parent him? That sounded like a parenting
That
move.
sounds like parenting.
Whoa.
She faced her fears head on. How do you know you weren't there? She never accepted any help.
Oh,
that's not true.
I was gonna say...
I doubt that.
But also, a full-on... That's another thing. Isolating her into a cabin in like, the first story. One, it was directed by, the man that was in charge of her, but two, it is this belief that artists, again, are this magical thing, and that they themselves must commune with themselves and their environment to create things.
Yeah.
Not that they can talk to other people or get ideas from other people, that you can't crowdsource or learn from other people, because if you learn from other people, well then your pure spirit is being tainted, or you're lifting from them, or you're taking their ideas.
Yeah.
And it is one of those things of going, it's also the glorification of hard work. You need to do this yourself. Buckle down and pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Army of one, you can get this done.
Yeah.
And that is toxic and harmful, especially in a society. We live in a society where we encourage everyone to be a singular island, which is the opposite of a community, which is what societies are made out of. Communities.
Community. And actually, that's why we have a society, because it's community. Society is community. Anyway, she never accepted any help. But you're not alone on the battlefield. Your comrades in arms must trust you. You stand between everybody back home and chaos.
Oh, that's an opinion.
That is an opinion.
Such an opinion.
I think...
your family is depending on you. He knows that. Because otherwise he wouldn't have left to support his family. That's obvious.
I think at this point, especially because he's an officer, it would make more sense going, your comrades in arms must trust you.
You have to be a good team, not an island.
Right. Your comrades in arms, just like your family, trusted in Wilma. Wilma had so much potential, and she let us down.
Wait, she did?
But not me! I won't let them down! I wonder if basically everything fell apart because Arthur dropped her, because she had nothing to do with him.
Because she didn't continue to be with him. Or did she just stop sending money back home? Her concert was a great success. She let us all down.
Yeah, I don't understand what's going on here. I feel like there's part of the story we don't have. Yeah. I won't let them down. You will if you rush heedlessly into enemy fire. You cannot be thoughtless.
You also won't continue drawing a paycheck if you die right away.
To be thoughtless is to be blind.
I mean, I don't want to, advocate for survivalism, for the nature of capitalism, but if you're trying to pay your family, you gotta stay alive.
Especially, for fucking war, because, fuck war.
Uh-huh.
Blind? I don't understand.
I love how the other two are just letting this happen. You've all kind of gotten to know each other, and just oh, you're now parenting the youth. Good. Oh, that's fine, or I won't engage.
I think this guy seems more chill to me, so finding the calm deep inside you seems more reasonable than you must stay alert, stay aware.
Or
Adrenaline will
adrenaline.
drive you.
No, he seems collected.
Find the calm deep inside you.
Because what he's been trying to do, as far as I can tell, on this train, is deal with his own anxiety about going to war and trying to get away from it. So trying to find calm. That seems like what his mission is, which is what he would then share with someone else.
You've been in this situation before. Your story. The men at the end where your sister played. Your family needed the money, and you swallowed your anger and took it. I never should have taken that money.
Oh, he feels...
Staying calm. Make it sound so easy. It's not. It's the most difficult thing there is. Wilma's choices seem to have had a great influence on your life. Even watching from the sidelines, I was changed. But also, I imagine, based on what we saw, your parents basically abandoned you for her. Because they thought she was magical and special too.
And they might have done that because of, and we're just going to, because
poverty.
of capitalism and because of poverty.
Yeah.
Because of a poverty narrative of going, I need to focus on the thing that's most valuable, even if I don't mean to, because my survival is hinged upon it. And there is this thing where, in reference to like the idea of prodigies and things like that, but there's also different volume systems in different places. Let me try and make this quick. If something is valuable where you are, you may focus on it to try and get worth out of it because that gives you greater safety in a society that values money.
Yeah.
And certain things are like mysticized and things like that of going, but it's really valuable, and if it's mysticized, it will be more valuable. And so I can be safer because of it. Anyway,
even watching from the sidelines, I was changed. Will you think about what I've said? I know you mean well, but I'm sure of myself. I'm done living in Wilma's shadow. Will fight for myself and my family. I wonder if I could have changed his mind had Wilma made different choices.
Is this supposed to be something directed at the player? Of going, if Wilma did her story different, he might not be like this. On the other hand, it has shown us that there's been outcomes from the stories that weren't what we chose.
Yes, which I don't know. That's why I was like, but I don't know because we haven't played this game before. We are actually, honestly, completely blind to this game. So if you haven't figured it out, we don't know actually what any of this stuff is.
And the thing
so this is what always makes it like analyzing a game sort of hilarious when you play something, especially where they're like, it's meant to be. We want you to play it multiple times. There are different things you can get done. And I'm like, okay, so without a complete, basically, and full picture and understanding of the game, what do you get just from a base sort of experience with it? Which is usually what we try going for. What do you get if you just come in and you really don't just continue engaging with the material? Because I gotta tell you, I have a lot of games that I've only played once.
Yeah,
I've had a lot of books that I loved, but I only read them once.
And your primary reaction is we're not doing a deeply studied essay of this game. We're doing our immediate reaction and a what does it feel like to play this when you come in uninformed?
Right?
And that is definitely a thing.
Theodore, why did you enlist?
Here we go. Did you enlist, good sir? Oh, because war is madness. Ha 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 ha! That makes so much sense. How do wars start? Greed for wealth or land. Thank you, that's very honest, I like that. Not because people are angry at each other, or because, they, the bad guys, greed for wealth or land. Fear of those who are not like us, and therefore must mean us harm.
Also then, why would you be here? If you're doing this going like, because war is madness, I joined because...
Because you get told you can change it from the inside. You've even talked about this in a work narrative.
Oh, yeah.
Going, well, you will be the voice of change for the system.
You want to talk about people that I've had say that to me, going, no, but you could do the one who'd do this. You're a non-binary. You could help them. You could inform them. Bitch!
You can teach every single person you meet that's uninformed, speaking one person at a time and never going to public speaking engagements and never becoming an expert on it or anything. Just teach every individual person sensitivity, awareness, and connection to this.
Yeah, no worries. You're going to have a problem. Do
you know why so many disabled people, I'll just use my mom as an example, get so tired of explaining their disability to absolutely every single new person ever? Because you cannot spend your whole life educating individuals about you personally and how to be sensitive and not an idiot. And I say idiot aggressively here. It's not reasonable.
Oh, no.
It's not reasonable at all because anyone can educate
thoughtless,
themselves.
yeah.
Thoughtless, to be basically indifferent. Their privilege makes them indifferent to the plight of others because they don't have to learn about it because it's not in their face.
Yeah.
And if you have a disability for yourself, you have to learn about it because it's in your entire life. And because other people are going to interact with it. For the most part, people can't have completely private secret disabilities because a lot of them are visible in the function of their lives or in the function of their bodies.
Yeah.
And so there is this level of other people get to engage whether you want them to or not. In the same way that other people can engage with your depression visibly if it shows in your self-care.
Yeah.
And blah, 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 that kind of thing. And it's just... It's frustrating when people tell you, well, you can be the one voice that changes the world by individually answering my questions right now. And or the next person who asks you. And, yeah, that. And therefore must mean us harm.
I don't think you've read this line at all.
I did.
Actually.
Yeah. I absolutely did.
Okay, fear of those who are not like us.
Yep.
Right.
Revenge for Silence Bullet.
Ah.
And you think you can stop all that? Probably not. But, not by myself, anyway. But I thought I could at least try. I know that sounds foolish.
I mean, it is. Organizing and basically rioting or protesting and
The thing is getting to be... Okay, so you can be a voice that changes individual people's ideas or opinions. But you cannot be a voice that makes other people change other people. And so unless you can cause an effect where the people that you are teaching or informing or educating are also then decide to teach and inform and educate and add sensitivity and advocate, you will never be enough as one person. You have to include others. And you go, well, yeah, you inspire other people. And unless you inspire them to do what you're doing and continually do it on a bigger scale,
absolutely understand what the fuck you're doing,
then it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, it's useless. This is foolish. You bet. I know it sounds foolish.
Do you have something in mind? You want to stop war by going to war. That's a good...
That's kind of actually... You want to stop war by going to war?
I mean, that's our question. That seems a reasonable one for him as well, but do you have something in mind seems a little more, journalistic. I'm not going to suggest what you may do.
I mean, I think at this point he's kind of stopped interviewing because they asked him, and this
he
seems
did
more
put his
personal.
notebook away. It's true.
He did. He's not interviewing. He says, "Do you want to stop war by going to war?
Sure.
What? You want to stop war by going to war?
Yes. Who makes the decisions to make war?
Politicians.
Yes.
Not...
and that was the other question of you want to go into, politics or government?
Right.
Politicians, not soldiers.
So why are you going to war, honey?
If more politicians spend time facing an enemy beyond bayonet to bayonet, maybe they would try harder to find another solution.
Honey, you are more likely to die.
But are you taking politicians to war then? You're not a politician.
You're not a politician.
So if politicians went and did this, are you going to try and advocate for politicians to join you in the war?
Right? A solution. Like you did with that photo when your professor was leaving. Instead of lamenting, you took change into your own hands.
Precisely.
By joining... you are... What? That is baffling.
Well, instead of going, some kind of memento, I guess I'll just wait and nothing will happen, I went, I will go talk to the photographer. I will set up what we're going to do.
And that's fine, but I'm talking about the going to war to solve war thing. That has been a complaint about war for a long time. Believe it or not, politicians don't care. They know war is bad.
But they also know that war can benefit them.
But that's the thing. They know war is bad, but it never affects them, so they literally don't care. Well, you would have a different opinion if you had to go. Yeah, so you should stop going. You should stop playing lackey to them.
I'll say, or all politicians are required military service.
Right? Or something, except that, don't give them any special treatment.
I would say that's not, necessary.
You sound very passionate about this.
And naive, I suppose.
Seems you have a gift with words. Your sincerity is obvious. You remind me of myself.
I think the sincerity is obvious, because we haven't been given an example of his gift with words, as far as I can
Yeah,
tell.
he seems really awkward with words, actually, to me.
Like, I've not...
Your sincerity is obvious. Your professor taught you well.
I wouldn't call her disguising herself sincere.
What the fuck? Yes, I would. Her sincere desire...
So the thing is it can be taken very differently, in different ways. So part of her sincere desire to do math, her sincere desire to be heard,
contribute
and to contribute to the mathematical
and be
field,
seen as who she was for her math rather than for being
her
a
gender,
woman. Yeah.
Then yes, that is very sincere. However, disguising her gender is not sincere. The thing is you can be many things at once.
I know.
And he's really going, I wouldn't call disguising sincere. It's like, yeah, but that's not what the journalist was talking about.
No.
At all.
I'm also just like, that's fine.
We got this. I understand why she did it, though. Of course.
Do you?
Do you? How do you mean?
There might be more truth in that disguise than you can see.
Thank you. The disguise was sincere because it was expressing her sincerity to be included where she was locked out.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's it. I've given it a lot of thought. I want to inspire the people. But I don't know if I can do it. I couldn't stand up to my father. You have courage, I see it in you. Both of those, one of them sounds like I'm shutting you down, and the other one sounds like like a complete segue. An absolute, let's talk about something else.
Or he's having an ADHD experience where you go, the reason I'm connecting to you is by bringing up my own relevant experience. So we've actually had this discussion before, and we thought it was really interesting that there is actually a behavior that we've learned about. It doesn't mean that it's applicable to everybody who has ADHD, but you start talking about similar experiences or experiences that you think are similar. And the other person goes, why the hell do you talk about yourself so much? You're going, but I'm not. We were sharing.
I'm showing you that I
feel
instead
you.
of saying, I understand, where someone goes, this thing happened to me in great detail, instead of going, oh, I get you, you go, let me explain a story to you of why I understand that because I've been through it too.
Yeah, exactly. You're trying to relate.
And you're showing why
that you do
can
relate. Yeah.
So when people do public speaking and they do, leadership in it, there is a thing where you're supposed to establish your credentials first thing. When you first come onto a stage, you're supposed to tell people why they should listen to you. I've been a personal trainer for 14 years. I have these degrees. I have this experience in this field. And that's what a person with ADHD is doing. They're going, here's why my sympathy to you is relevant, because I actually know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So I could see where you're going, I couldn't send him to my father. But that doesn't feel like that's helpful in this situation because you're literally on the fucking train. I think you just... you have courage.
I see it in you. Let's just shut this down.
You have courage. I see it in you.
You see more in me than I do.
Naturally.
Huh.
Just like Reknizik.
How so?
Wouldn't you call it brave that your professor took over Nenner's classes?
Yes, of course.
But we never found out what happened to Nenner, and I'm mad about it.
Extraordinarily so. I want to know what happened to Nenner, and there's even a hook going, yeah, Nenner's missing. But how am I brave?
Putting your life on the line for your beliefs, you have a passion people will respond to, you care, others will see that and listen. I don't think he has much passion. I'm sorry, like he's like, you seem sort of like...
We could leave it here if you want to.
We haven't come to a safe place, though.
I know, but we have time for another one.
Oh, it's true. Well, I guess...
You know what? We're going to figure this out in the next one.
All right, so thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. If you like what we do, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and also share our videos. We love having you around. Also, please feel free to go check out our Ko-Fi and our Patreon. We have some links in the description down below, and we'd love to see you at one of those locations. And I have been Scandal.
And I have been Lies.
And it was great playing with you.
Bye!